It's time now for my esteemed guests to unburden themselves and tell me what they need to talk about. And Superwoman campaigner Kellie-Jay Keen has chosen the Gender Recognition Act. But first of all, here's some facts. Under the Gender Recognition Act 2004, adults can legally change their gender if they meet certain criteria. That is, they need 2 medical reports showing gender dysphoria diagnosis. They must live full-time in their acquired gender for at least 2 years. And they must provide proof, such as copies of their passport and driving licence. Campaigners for reform of the GRA say the process is arduous and stressful for those involved and favour a system of self-identification for those who believe themselves to be of the opposite sex. This has been backed recently by the Women and Equalities Committee. Now, Kellie-Jay, where do you stand on the GRA?
Let's get rid of it. Let's completely repeal it. I mean, even in your introduction, you talk about people who believe they are the opposite sex, and yes, it's called the Gender Recognition Act. It's not called the Sex Recognition Act. I think it's just nonsensical. I don't think it's workable. I think in a proper liberal and tolerant society, people would be able to dress however they wanted, and we wouldn't need the state to recognise as something that they aren't.
I mean, does this come down to the fact that if, for instance, a man who transitioned to become female had the diagnosis of gender dysphoria, had made all the efforts, gone through surgical procedures, medical interventions to change their gender because they wanted to fully live as a woman, would you be comfortable with that person using female spaces?
No. No, I really wouldn't. I think it comes down to so subjective. Trans activists might talk about passing. I personally think that is something that, for some people, some men might pass as women, and for others they won't. It won't make women any more comfortable. A female-only space is no longer a female-only space if there's somebody that's a man in that space or somebody who's male in that space. So it's completely unworkable. And also what's happened from the inception of the 2004 GRA, the rights of women have just persistently been eroded. So before the GRA, would we have had men in women's prisons? I don't think we would. I don't think that would be something where we would be right now. I think the logical conclusion of the police calling rapists women and recording that as crimes, as Girl Guides, not being able to keep men out of the Girl Guides movement, I think all of those things are completely because in 2004 we created a legal fiction.